Hey Canucks fans, are you ready for a busy and pivotal month for this franchise? I'm Canuck Clay. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. It's my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Monday, July the 5th. Subscribe now for Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Thanks to everyone who joined me for my members live stream last night. Had a lot of fun, as always. And thanks for the great feedback to my Ask Me Anything video from yesterday that I do every Sunday. Still kind of embarrassed that I thought Game 4 was last night. No, of course, it's tonight. And I do think the Tampa Bay Lightning will sweep the Montreal Canadiens with a victory tonight. But we shall see. And it should be an exciting game tonight, of course. I want to talk about the month of July. And we know that this month is going to be very busy for the Canucks. It's going to be a pivotal month for the Canucks. Would you say it's franchise altering? I don't know. I don't want to over dramatize it and make it go that far, but it's going to be very important. And there's a week of dates that we need to know about. July 21st, expansion draft. July 23-24, entry draft. And July 28th, free agency opens. So in a span of 1 week that kicks off just 16 days from now, we have three very important events, very pivotal events for the future of this franchise. So my question to you, and I guess throw in before that, this Friday, we're going to hear about the Abbotsford team name and logo, rumored to be the Abbotsford Canucks because of some social media accounts, some website domains, and trademarks that they filed over the past 2 months. Believe it or not, I'm actually okay with the Abbotsford Canucks from a branding, from a united front synergy standpoint. I know a lot of people think it's easy or kind of boring, but we'll get to that later in the week once they actually do it. But again, Abbotsford Canucks is the lead-in, or is the leading not vote getter, but that's what people are thinking that the Canucks are going to announce this Friday. But that's for later in the week. Let's talk about this entire month and how important it's going to be. Let's talk about the three elements itself: expansion draft, entry draft, then free agency, and then I'll talk about them as a whole. And I guess my overarching question is, do you trust Jim Benning and the management team to really improve the state of the franchise through these three pivotal events? Now, Benning has talked about how he wants to be aggressive this offseason. Benning has talked about how he wants to be a playoff team this upcoming season. And I've talked many times about how, and many people know that there's not a lot of money right now, especially with contracts looming for Pettersson and Hughes. But at the end of next season, that's when you lose money from Eriksson, Roussel, Beagle, Holtby, and the cap recapture penalty for Luongo. So we'll have a lot more flexibility at the end of next season. But what's going to happen this season, and what's going to happen with these three dates? So let's talk about the expansion draft first. July 21st, you have to submit your list a few days before that, obviously. We fully expect the Canucks to protect Demko, and then on the blue line, Schmidt, if he's still here, Myers, and Juolevi. And then up front, Pettersson, Besser, Horvat, Miller, Pearson, Mott, and then one of Highmore, Lind, McEwen, or Gadjevich. So that leaves pretty slim pickings for the Seattle Kraken. Any of those forwards that I mentioned that aren't getting protected, of those four, right? One of Lind, Gadjevich, Highmore, or McEwen. The other three will be exposed. Same as guys like Beagle and Roussel and so on, as Eriksson. And then on the blue line, you got Madison Bowie because Hughes and Rathbone don't have to be protected. And then, of course, Holtby on the back end also exposed. So I don't think people are looking at who the Canucks lose. That's not going to be the franchise-altering part. But will the Canucks be able to leverage some deals? Kind of what LA and Nashville did. LA trades for Victor Arvidsson, a very, very good top six forward, in exchange for a couple draft picks, a second or third rounder in the future. And that's because Nashville likely wouldn't have been able to protect Victor Arvidsson coming up later this month. So are there other teams, i.e. Carolina Hurricanes with Warren Fogle? Are there other teams, Winnipeg with Mason Appleton? Are there other teams, I should stop interrupting myself. Are there other teams that the Canucks can leverage, can go after and say, hey, we will take this player off you, we'll trade you a future draft pick or two, but then now at least you won't lose this player for nothing. You'll actually get some draft picks out of it. So that's the neat part about the expansion draft. Second part, NHL entry draft. We've talked about this a lot. We will continue to talk about this a lot. Had Cam Robinson on a couple of weeks ago where he gave his list, and these lists are always changing. We don't know what GMs are thinking, but we do know that perhaps it'll be a Mason McTavish, a Kent Johnson, someone like that, hopefully still sitting around at 9, and the Canucks have a chance to beef up their, well, maybe not right away, he'll be a top 6 forward, but at least an eventual top 6 forward. So entry draft also gives chance for some from trades, of course. 2 years ago, we know the Canucks made the big trade for JT Miller, giving up a second rounder on that day. third rounder, I believe, was on that day because we picked Hoglander with the second rounder. But so the NHL entry draft also gives us a chance not only to pick a player that hopefully will be a mainstay for many, many years to come, especially at number 9, that's a top 10 pick, or a chance to move that pick or other picks or other players. And a lot of trades, at least the NHL entry draft gives a landscape, an environment where you can facilitate trades. Then free agency, and this is the one I think that scares the Canucks fans the most. We've seen what Jim Benning has done on typically July 1st, this year July 28th, whether it's Louis Eriksson 5 years ago at $6 million at $6 million a year for 6 years, whether it's Tyler Myers. So those are a couple, and then of course the smaller ones that we're still feeling the effects of, Roussel, Beagle, those type of contracts. So are we worried about something like that happening, or will Jim Benning make some shrewd moves and be able to pick up, some second and third line guys for cheaper, $2.5–3 million. Now, usually you don't do that on day one. Day one, that's when all the prices jack up, right? Because it's a buyer's market for sure. Seller's market for sure. But then if you can wait a little bit, then those prices will come down, and you can often find some really good deals. But then, of course, every other team is trying to do the same thing, mine those good deals, and the players are getting antsy because they don't want to be left out of the cold, left out in the cold and not getting picked up. So that's kind of the fascinating thing about free agency, but you can always look for some big deals happening on day one because that's the whole nature of the beast, so to speak. And I hope that Jim Benning has kind of learned his lessons from not spending too much on older players, and if he's able to be a little bit patient or find some younger guys at not so expensive rates, that's the hope. So again, expansion draft, July 21st, entry draft, July 23-24, and then the free agency begins on July 28th. I just talked about each of those three things individually. What about as a group? Will Benning be smart enough to, I shouldn't say smart enough, will they explore using elements of all three? I guess it's hard to talk about free agency, but you can certainly explore elements of expansion draft and entry draft in your trades, in your packages, or maybe instead of trying to weave all 2 or 3 events together, maybe it's just an overall philosophy that by the end of the month they want to have these 2 new types of new players, a third line center and a top 4 D-man, for instance. I'm just using an example. So a lot of ways that the Canucks can go. My question to you Canucks fans is, are you confident in Jim Benning and his management team that they will make the right moves over this month to help pivot and help change the way the outlook of our franchise, which there's a lot of hope and a lot of potential with all of our young players in good positions, but we certainly need more intermediate and veteran players around them, more effective ones, contracts that are friendly. So Canucks fans, leave a comment below. I'd love to know your thoughts and your confidence level in Benning and his team heading into this month of July. Leave a comment. I will read, react, and reply as always. Shout out to my Hall of Fame members, Let's try that again. Shout out to my Hall of Fame members, Jens95, Sim Alexander, Justin Credible, Nux fan number 29, Lucas Gates, Chris Seifert, Adam Broomfield, Shea Family Channel, Jamie Sports Soccer More, and Shannon Hollingworth. Thanks for your support as always, and thanks to the support of all members of all levels. You are listed in my video descriptions. If you want to become a member of the CCC Crew, press the join button underneath this or any of my videos or on the memberships tab on my YouTube channel. Don't forget, tonight, Canucks After Dark, me and Parker's Pucks, 10 p.m. Parker's Pucks, 10 p.m. tonight at our usual time. Looking forward to talking about this big month ahead with my partner in crime, Parker. So make sure you join us at 10 p.m. tonight. In the meantime, subscribe if you'd like to. Like this video if you'd like to. Become a member of this channel if you'd like to. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. God bless, and go Canucks go.